The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 9 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships from Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Greece, Penfield, Fairport, and Canandaigua. Online at visionauto.com. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us in another edition of the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Every week at this time, we take a comprehensive look at sports in Section 5 and Monroe County. We begin with our honor roll of high school teams at number 3 this week. Because we believe strongly that every team should win at least one game, Spencerport Baseball. Mitchell Henshaw had 3 hits against Brockport. The Rangers are 1-11. At number 2, HFL Baseball, and no one who played in the Cougars game against Pittsford Sutherland will forget this one. HFL blew a 10-run lead and then rallied with 6 in the 7th to beat the Knights 22-21. And at number 1, Fairport Softball, which the day just before the softball poll was released in the DNC and placed Webster Schrader at number 1, Fairport beat the Warriors 19-2. The Raiders start the season 3-0. Which brings us to CCR, the Country Club of Rochester, where Will Thompson of Pittsford Mendon, the next big thing, is trying to become the current thing. Here's Kim Burnson.
Just over a year ago, Pittsford Mendon golf coach Charlie Webster added a new face to his varsity team. Only a 7th grader at the time, Will Thompson joined his new teammates for his first season playing at the high school level. While most varsity coaches are wary to pull up a young talent, the decision to add the 2013 New York State Amateur Champion to the team was one Coach Webster didn't think twice about.
That's a little different. There's no real physical contact at all, and it's mostly skill related, and sometimes it's a mental thing where you might think they'd struggle socially or mentally with the golf, but he doesn't do any of that either, so no hesitations at all. He's really good. He's real consistent. You can always count on him. He's par or under most of the time, and that helps out a lot.
Thompson's contributions left Coach with no regrets about his new addition. Last year, Will helped Pittsford Mendon win a division title, and on an individual level, his accomplishments include tying for 8th place at the state championships, earning him all-state honors. A resume that impressive leaves many wondering how Will has such a handle on a tough sport. Turns out, it was something he picked up at an early age.
It was my parents taking me out when I was really young, and I just had a lot of fun with it, and I just kept it simple, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of picked it up on my own. My parents play a little bit, and my brother played JV when he was in high school, but other than that, they didn't really get too into it.
Thompson excelling on the golf course obviously caught the eye of the Pittsford Mendon golf team. When getting the call up to varsity, Thompson's concerns weren't about playing at the higher level, but rather something else.
Maybe fitting in with the older guys, but I was already friends with a lot of the guys on the team, and they took me in really well, and I got along with them, so it was really good.
Most of the time he interacts really well, golf related, socially. They get along really well, they have a lot of fun, so and they're competitive at the same time.
What's been your most memorable moment playing golf at this level?
Up to this point, going to the USAM was unbelievable, but even like simple things like high school golf is just a lot of fun playing with all my friends, so I really enjoy it.
Thompson, now in his 2nd year with the team, is quickly climbing up in the ranks. He attributes his development to his role models, including one in particular that multiple teammates seem to share.
Kid on the team, Gunnar Doyle, is definitely a role model to me, and then Gavin Hall, who's up at Texas. He was definitely, when he was here especially, we still text a little bit. He's definitely a role model that I try to strive to be, so those 2 guys are kind of what I'm trying to be like.
Gunnar Doyle, a senior who will be attending West Point next fall, is a leader on the team and someone Will has learned from.
Well, it's an honor, I guess. I mean, it's good to have people to look up to. I know I looked up to Gavin when I was a younger kid playing on the team, and I watched him pretty vividly to see how he acted, and I tried to follow suit with my own actions.
Will has also taught him a thing or two along the way.
He's pretty humble, so that's good, especially for all that he's accomplished, which is something to learn from.
As Thompson continues to grow in his sport, he has to remind himself that keeping a balanced schedule can sometimes be just as important to his development.
I did used to play a little bit of guitar. I don't really do it as much anymore, but once in a while I do. But I definitely need to balance out golf so I don't get too overwhelmed with like other sports. So try to do a little bit of basketball and do a little bit of other stuff just to not always be focusing on golf.
But make no mistake, his career goals are always on his mind.
This summer I definitely, I just want to compete in a few HAGAs that I'm playing in. And then I'm playing in the MIC too, so I'd like to play decent at that and just have fun with every tournament that I play in is mainly the goal.
For the Vision High School Sports Beat, I'm Kim Burnson.
Kim Burnson returns later on with our Making the Grade segment, but up next, a quick rebuild in Brighton when the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat continues. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us in this edition of the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Let's take a look at that honor roll of high school athletes now. At number 3, Leah Crockett of the Penfield softball team had a day for herself against Rush Henrietta. Leah worked a one-hitter and struck out 18 on the mound. She went 4 for 4 at the plate and hit 2 home runs. Sold hot dogs between innings. At number 2, Emily Resnick, Webster Thomas Girls Lacrosse. Emily scored 4 goals, including the overtime game winner against Webster Schrader. The Titans are 7-4. And at number 1, Max Koch of the Brighton boys lacrosse team. Max scored 8 goals and added 3 assists against Spencerport. Koch got the game winner of that contest in overtime. The Barons are 6-3. We'll stay in Brighton, where the baseball team has undergone a remarkable transformation.
Play! Get there! Oh God, here comes the sun, boys! Oh great.
School sports are at the mercy of graduation. Teams are constantly under varying degrees of rebuilding. So consider Brighton baseball, a sectional finalist last year, returning no starters.
It just seems like everything's been going right lately. We're hitting the ball, not making a lot of errors, and our pitching's really coming through, and the chemistry is the main difference that I've noticed. Everyone gets along, and we just treat each other like brothers.
You had some serious work to do, though. My understanding is you had to replace virtually the entire starting team.
Yeah, we have 0 returning starters. So Brian Jordan, that everyone's been talking about, got 3 at-bats last year. So, I mean, it seems like we shouldn't be doing this well, but honestly, not too worried about it because we're just playing our game right now, so.
The rebuilt Barons lost their first game of the year in West Virginia and then rattled off 10 straight wins. Shortstop Brian Jordan, replacing All-Greater Rochester shortstop Ernie Clement, now at Virginia, has stepped up as a team leader, batting .627 through Brighton's first 11 games after getting all of 3 at-bats last season.
I understood that I was behind a great player in Ernie Clement. I mean, he's one of the best players to have ever come through this program. So, I mean, but that didn't, it didn't make me lose any confidence or anything. I mean, I just respected that, and all year I was just trying to learn from him, both him and Ryan O'Connor in the middle infield, and I just made the most of it.
That's tough, though. I mean, you go through a whole season, you're essentially told to just suck it up.
Well, it's not, I mean, that's juniors. Juniors playing a varsity sport, that's what it is. I mean, you just got to learn from it, and I believe that all of us did that, and that's why we're being successful this year.
It's tough as a coach. Yeah, I wanted to get them in and get them a chance because I knew that they were going to have to take over this year, but when you had a team out there, you want to win games, and it's tough to get them in during spots.
You couldn't find Brian more than 3 at-bats?
It's a tough question, but he put in the work this offseason to earn himself that spot, and now it's showing on the field.
Jordan capped his fast start by batting for the cycle last week. A single, double, triple, and a home run in the same game.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, especially against Sutherland. I mean, it's just surreal almost. I don't even know. I mean, I just try to not think about it pretty much. I'm just moving on to the next game.
First baseman Daniel DeLorto is playing out the string and is batting a not-too-shabby .563 for Brighton. DeLorto, a star tight end with a football team, will be playing that sport at the U of R next year.
It's a different kind of training for sure. I actually talked to Coach Wass about it because I'm going on to play football at the next level. I go to the baseball weight room and do the football lifts there. So I do the football training, but it's just with the baseball guys to build the brotherhood.
All right, guys, bring it in here. Bring it in very quickly. Let's just make sure from here on out we focus on the Barons, and that's it. Okay? Play the ball the way the Barons do. Take care of business on our own. Okay? Doesn't matter who's out there, who's against us, whether they're fans, whatever. Focus on one thing, and that's the Barons baseball. Let's go. Bring it in.
Bears out there, 1, 2, 3! Bears! Martin, you got them all? Yeah, I got them. All right.
Making the grade, Kim is back when the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat continues.
And we're back. Thanks for watching the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for our Making the Grade segment, where we honor high school athletes for their performance both on and off the field. Our nomination this week takes us out to Greece, Athena, where Johnny Ricotta is making the grade. Johnny is a senior and 4-year starter for Athena's varsity baseball team. Over the last 2 seasons, he's earned first-team All-County status and landed on the second-team All-County list as a freshman. He was also an honorable mention for the All-Greater Rochester team following his junior season last spring. Excelling in the classroom has always been an important part of Johnny's high school career. He's an NHS member and takes multiple AP courses, earning him future college credit. Through the varsity club at Athena, he helps create and run fundraisers, including a can drive via the Stuff-A-Bus program at school. The past 2 summers, Johnny's volunteered his time with the Safety Town program at the Greece Town Hall. There, he runs programs for young kids, teaching them about stranger danger and general knowledge to help keep a safer community. He also works at Pine Grove Elementary School, monitoring sports night activities with the younger students. Next fall, Johnny plans to attend MCC and hopes to play baseball and would like to eventually take his talents down south to attend school. For his dedication on the baseball diamond and in the community, this week Athena's Johnny Ricotta is making the grade. If you have an idea for our Making the Grade segment, a team or an individual making contributions to their community, you can contact us at info@classywolf.com. I'm Kim Burnson. Now here's Bill with a look at our Section 5 calendar.
On Thursday, the girls' lacrosse game of the week finds Victor playing at Webster Thomas under the lights. It's a 7:30 start. Thursday also produces probably the lacrosse game of the year. Victor is at Pittsford. Both teams are undefeated, and they will not meet in the sectional since they play in different classes. It's 7 o'clock on the field at Sutherland. On Friday, Fairport Baseball plays at Webster Schrader. It's always a great matchup. First pitch, 4:30. And then on Saturday, 24 teams head out to Hilton for the Running Cadet Classic and the big Saturday night showdown. One of the great events in the outdoor track and field season, and some of what's on the Section 5 schedule this week. Boys lacrosse headlines our all sports high school game of the week. That's up next when the Vision Automotive Group High School Sports Beat continues. Welcome back to the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. We try, but we don't always succeed in finding a competitive game in our all sports high school game of the week. Sports being what they are, you just never know what you're going to get. With that in mind, we present the boys lacrosse game with McQuaid playing at Webster Thomas. These teams were remarkably similar coming in. McQuaid at 6-3, having lost to unbeaten Class B Kingpin Victor by 4. Webster Thomas 6-2, having lost to unbeaten Class B Kingpin Victor again by 4. If the Blue Devils don't win the class title this year, one of these two should.
Our strength really is our depth. You know, we go very deep at all positions throughout the field, and the competition and practice really bodes well for us to hopefully peak at the right time.
Thomas is peaking now. The Titans carried a 5-game win streak into this game.
We have 2 sophomore defensemen and a freshman that play a lot. So it's going to take some time to get those guys, you know, their feet wet, I guess, and play in some of these bigger games. And we have played a challenging schedule so far, you know, going up to Hamburg, playing up there, one of Buffalo's best teams. They'll probably represent Class B out of Buffalo last weekend. And did well, played well, and I'm encouraged at the growth of this team, and I'm curious to see what happens tonight.
What happened began to happen quickly. Thomas had a goal. Travis Ford got it 7 seconds in. It seems hardly possible that you could score a goal in that amount of time. What was that like?
Yeah, I don't know. It just came quick, and we got the ball down, ball to me, and then just a goal.
What are you talking about making an early statement? When you score 7 seconds in, I think that qualifies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets the team pumped up, and then the game just keeps going, and it goes good.
McQuaid managed to get that one right back. Zach Ettenhausen to Brody Lease for the goal. It was a 1-1 game. McQuaid goalie Marcus Sherman managed to keep his Knights even with a couple of nice point-blank saves. But once the Titans rediscovered the scoring touch, they didn't let up. The onslaught began with Kevin Hill running in for the go-ahead goal with 3:02 left in the quarter. That was the first of 3 Webster Thomas goals in a span of 1:40. Matt Fiore circled in to make it 3-1. Cam Isaac went 5-hole on Sherman to make it a 4-1 game at the quarter pole.
I think our intensity really got us going off the bat. We were doing pretty good all around. Our defense was playing solid. A little slow at the beginning, but then once we get going, we just can't stop us. So.
I guess not. I mean, that was really an example of it. You guys had 11 straight goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, once we get rolling, everybody's clicking on offense. We're getting the face-offs, and we're just moving the ball well. So we executed everything we wanted to today.
It didn't get any better for McQuaid in the second quarter as the Titans continued to carry the play. Hill got his second just 36 seconds in. Isaac, who scored 3 and assisted on another, made it a 6-1 game. Things weren't going well for the Knights on the sideline either, as an assistant coach was taken out when Fiore was checked into him. No harm there. Back on the field, Hill scored another to make it a 7-1 game. He was the offensive star, scoring 6 goals with 2 assists. When do you know it's going well? I mean, when you're out there, can you feel it and you know, boy, this is going to be a good night?
You have pep to your step, you know. We're shooting the ball well. You feel it. You feel good out there.
Games like this, though, they don't come around all the time, right? You kind of have to enjoy them when they're there.
Yeah. I mean, I know last year we had a similar game against Ithaca. Ithaca's a great team, but we came out, we scored like 18 goals. Some nights it's just there.
Lost in the offensive fireworks were the efforts of Thomas keeper Davis Bird, who stopped 7 of the 9 McQuaid shots he faced. In terms of you being able to keep them from making any kind of a comeback, you had the big saves for him, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm sure my saves helped, but the offense did a great job of just capitalizing on almost every one.
In an unexpected beatdown, Thomas led McQuaid 11-1 at the half. For the Knights, the intermission was a plea for pride.
We started out kind of slow, so the coaches were just kind of trying us to save our dignity, I guess you could say. But they wanted us to fight every ball, fight one play at a time and, see what we could do in the second half.
Webster scored the first 2 goals of the third quarter. Ford got both of them. He wound up with 4. Thomas was ahead 13-1, having scored 12 goals in a row. McQuaid finally snapped that streak when Ettenhausen found Jarrett Cook for a goal. Thomas got it right back, however. Joe Vasile with the goal. The Titans called off the Dogs with a 14-2 lead. McQuaid managed to net 6 of the game's final 8, but fell hard by a 16-8 score. At the end, it wasn't a very representative effort from you guys, was it?
No, it wasn't. They doubled our score. I'm not too proud of that, but like I said, we expect to see him again.
Well, they can't all be instant classics. We would like to thank the 9 dealerships of the Vision Automotive Group who make the Sports Beat possible, as do you. Thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you next week.